Hello you dirty dogs and welcome back to another Football Daily 10 where today we're looking at 10 teams that are currently revolutionising the beautiful game. 10. Napoli. The Italian game is slow and pedestrian with an emphasis on defending, right? Well, not anymore thanks to clubs such as Napoli, whose fast dynamic football has blown Catenaccio out of the modern vocabulary. The man credited with ushering in this attack-minded revolution is Maurizio Sarri, the former banker and Naples native who joined from Empoli after Rafa Benitez's underwhelming spell in charge of the Little Donkeys. Unlike the Spaniard, he's managed to get the very most out of players such as Higuain, Callahan, Insigne, Koulibaly and Jorginho. The latter in particular has been a revelation in the south as Sarri's regista, helping transition defence from attack at lightning speed with his metronomic array of passing. Sarri's brand of two-touch football led to a record goal haul of 80 in season 16-17 for Napoli, along with a record amount of league points. However, his crowning glory is perhaps soling Higuain's high-profile exit by deploying Dries Mertens as a false nine, who defied all expectation by scoring 28 goals in 28 starts in the subsequent season. 9. FC Midtjylland. Nothing about the one-time Danish champions can be considered normal. Founded by a carpenter and a car dealer, it now belongs to Englishman Matthew Benham, a man who made his fortune by taking on the bookies with statistical analysis. And with the help of former youth product Rasmus Ankersen, the club has been built firmly in his image, using data to give themselves an edge over clubs who can easily outspend them. This Moneyball-esque approach brought them their first and only league title in the 2014-15 season, that also included a memorable 2-1 home win over Manchester United in the Europa League. Despite finishing 26 points off top spot in 16-17, they continue to employ unorthodox methods such as consulting NFL coaches to develop new set pieces. They'll no doubt be hoping they get the balance right moving forward to kick their rivals back into touch. 8. Atalanta. In season 16-17, Atalanta experienced somewhat of a renaissance, finishing 4th in Syria, 9 points above their northern rivals AC Milan, especially impressive given their shoestring budget. And this was no coincidence, with the club's much-heralded youth system producing several first-team stars, such as Frank Kessié, Mattia Caldara and Roberto Gagliardini, who, along with the talismanic Papu Gomez, led the goddess to the European promised lands. The man largely responsible for this golden generation is Stefano Bonaccorso, who revamped Atalanta's Zingonia-based youth academy back in 1991. The sessions at the €10 million facility in Bergamo focus on technical quality and fluidity on the ball, and with 38% of Atalanta's squad last season comprising of graduates, there is a clear path to the first team. And with only 43 of the 303 academy graduates born on foreign soil, there's every chance the Bergamo club could be shaping the fortunes of the national team come World Cup 2022. 7. Atalanta. Over the last 15 years, the driving force behind the MLS's increasing popularity has been expansion, and Atalanta's introduction in 2017 has seen the rebirth of soccer in America's southeast. The project cost in its billions, but the region's appetite for the game justified the spend. Even before a ball was kicked, Atalanta's behemoth Mercedes-Benz Stadium sold out 13 consecutive games in 17-18, regularly averaging the 4th highest attendance in world football. The rise of the Five Stripes makes our list because they're a good representation of how soccer is becoming increasingly intrinsic to the American way of life. The MLS now has a higher matchday attendance league-wide than the NBA or NHL, and with the league planning on adding another 3 teams to its roster, the soccer revolution looks to have finally found its feet in the big US of A. 6. Hoffenheim. Our first German entry goes to a team who went from relative obscurity to a major player in the Bundesliga in just under 10 years. Down in the 5th division of German football as early as 2000, Hoffenheim have undergone a radical transformation thanks to the millions of software mogul Dietmar Mock and the ingenuity of young coach Julian Nagelsmann. Based in a municipality home to only 4,000 inhabitants, the club and its 30,000-seater stadium are an anomaly on multiple fronts, embodied by their swing from unlikely title contenders in 2008 to relegation candidates come 2016. To stave off the spectre of Bully 2, the club's hierarchy gambled on a 28-year-old who not only steered them to safety but to Champions League football the season after, finishing 4th, 2 points behind German giants Borussia Dortmund. Nagelsmann is now the poster boy for a host of young German managers plying their trade in the domestic scene, where the average age for a head coach is 6 years younger than Spain. Not bad when you consider the shelf life of a modern manager. 5. RB Leipzig. RB Leipzig have been referred to as the first of their kind in Germany, both in a positive and negative sense, as their meteoric rise continues to poke the bear of traditionalism in German football. Founded in 2009 after the club's backers Red Bull acquired the rights of SSV Markranstadt, the East German club have gone from the 5th division to Champions League participants in just 8 years. However, the club's inception was turbulent, as buyout talks with several other parties, such as hipster favourite FC St. Pauli, led to huge fan protests, who only saw a brand extending their marketing division by bastardising the domestic game. The club's fiercest critics will highlight the exorbitant membership fees, which at one point cost 10 times that of Bayern, as a means of circumventing the 50+1 rule, a tradition that most German clubs adhere to, giving their fans a significant say in electing the board. Red Bull are beginning to collect quite the back catalogue of clubs, with New York Red Bulls and Red Bull Salzburg to name but a few. However, the German wing has undoubtedly become the jewel in the crown, and if they keep producing players like Joshua Kimmich and Timo Werner, we're sure they'll win over the neutrals soon. The drink, however, continues to taste like pond water. 4. Monaco. Given the financial clout of owner Dmitry Roybalev, you'd be forgiven for thinking the modus operandi at Les Monégasques is to spend high on established names, especially after the fees shelled out on Radamel Falcao, João Moutinho and James Rodriguez. However, the 16-17 league winners have changed their ethos in modern times and are now considered one of the most fertile breeding grounds on the continent. This is owing to their award-winning academy, which costs them €8 million per season to maintain, a worthwhile investment when it's producing the likes of Kylian Mbappe, Yannick Carrasco and Valère Germain. Couple this with an unrivaled domestic scouting network and an experienced manager in Leonardo Jardim, and you have a club who actively choose not to partake in the transfer rat race, instead buying low and selling sky high. Très bon. 3. PSG. After committing in the region of €400 million on 2 players in the summer of 17-18, the Parisians had to at least take bronze on our list. Not only did they spend an astronomical sum, they also single-handedly inflated the transfer market for every other club. And while European giants like Real and Barca have a long history of doing the same, this time round was a quantum leap. Take Arsenal's bid for Mbappe's former teammate, Thomas Lemar. Before PSG completed their mega-bucks move for Brazilian Neymar, the London club were tabling bids between £40 to £50 million for the midfielder. This was already considered sizable, as the Gooners paid a similar fee for star striker Alexandre Lacazette. However, after PSG made it rain, Monaco expected in the region of £90 million for him, and most shockingly of all, Arsenal was supposedly willing to pay it before the transfer window slammed shut on Arsene Wenger's salad fingers. Then there's also the issue that PSG are effectively a state-run club, as owners Qatar Sport Investment are a joint venture between the Qatari government and the Qatar Olympic Committee. But that's a can of worms we'll save for another video. 2. St. Pauli. Originating from the working-class area of Hamburg, just a mile from the Docklands is the free-spirited St. Pauli, a community-based club whose Jolly Roger insignia and club values have become globally renowned for all the right reasons. When they aren't crowdfunding for underprivileged residents, running self-help clinics for fans suffering from depression, or proudly flying the pride flag over the training ground, their chairman's on Facebook asking for a lift to away games. What's German for freeloader? Although the Millantor Stadion has now become a mecca for the much-maligned football hipster, the Buccaneers, at the very least, provide a welcome antidote to the billionaires and faceless corporations so prevalent in modern football. Ever the optimists, the club are now raising money for a museum, although they have no trophies to adorn it. Since promotion to the Bundesliga in 2010, they're now in danger of falling out of the second division. Let's hope that nice guys don't finish last, at least this time. 1. The Syrian men's national team. Unlikely away draws with regional powerhouses Japan and Iran meant that in late 2017, despite the backdrop of a bloody civil war and playing qualifiers 5,000 miles away from home, Syria are on the cusp of World Cup qualification. However, their unlikely bids saw players and coaches pitted against one another as politics sank its teeth into the underdog like an unwanted parasite. As a result, many now see the team as a marketing tool for Assad's regime. One player that embodies the fracture split in the national setup is Faraz al-Khatib, one of Syria's brightest exports. Originally, he boycotted the national team because the government forces bombed and starved his hometown. However, on the eve of the playoff game with Australia, he considered returning, telling reporters whatever decision he made, 12 million people would love me, 12 million people would want to kill me. Ultimately, the Syrians narrowly missed out, but they went a long way to bring the plight of their people to the worldwide football community, and that's why they had to take top spot on our list of clubs that are revolutionising football. So that's that, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, click here for more great FD content, and as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe.